host, Matt LePay.
Welcome to the show. On Saturday, the Badgers became bowl eligible once again by beating Indiana 43-22. Jim Sorgi, in relief of an injured Brooks Bollinger, hits on 16 of 21 passes for 207 yards and 3 touchdowns as the Badgers win their 7th game of the year, also the 6th straight time they knock off Indiana. After all you guys have been through, happiness, relief, would those be a couple of words to sum up the feelings after the game?
I think I would hit it right on the head, but our guys were really focused and wanted to accomplish this. And, I told them, we had visions and we had some things each game that we wanted to accomplish and felt that there were still some things out there that we could achieve. And going to a bowl and qualifying for a bowl was one. And seniors are still alive to have an opportunity to win more games than any senior class that's ever come through here. So those are a number of things, but the guys really wanted to go to a bowl, and I felt it was important for our program.
You have a great bullpen. Jim Sorgi, one of the all-time relief pitchers, I think. Again, very calm, and for a guy who's so young, really has a presence about him, doesn't he?
He does, and didn't miss a beat. He steps in there, and, he says something in the huddle. I heard him as soon as we felt that Brooks couldn't go, and he was about 80%. I mean, he jumps in there and says, hey, let's go. He takes command of the huddle and really has a lot of composure. You can see how he has patience and confidence back in the pocket, or when he's he's not looking to run, he's looking to find an open receiver. The tight ends in particular found some seams, and he got him the ball. All
right, the Badgers in Indiana on Saturday down in Bloomington. Let's get to the first half of Saturday's game.
When you play Indiana, you know you have to deal with quarterback Antoine Randall, and it started off well enough for Wisconsin. Wendell Bryant stopping the quarterback at the line of scrimmage, but he did get his team on the move. This is a 20-yard pickup here down to the Badgers' 21-yard line. It set up an Andy Payne field goal. Wisconsin could not score in its first possession. Indiana, though, gave the Badgers an opportunity. Randall once again on the run, but Eric Malik able to pry the ball loose. It was recovered by Ben Herbert, and Wisconsin had its first big chance of the day. But the Badgers turned it over. Michael Bennett has the ball stripped, and Indiana recovers. Johnny Anderson pounces on it at the Hoosiers' 11-yard line. Later in the quarter, down 6-0, the Badgers are driving again, but they turn it over again. Chris Chambers gets hit hard after the catch, and Indiana has yet another break. The third fumble of the first half. Matt Unerdl here at the end of the run coughs it up, recovered by Johnny Anderson, and Indiana has a chance to break the game open a bit late in the second quarter when Antoine Randall throws a pass into the hands of Mike Eccles. He gets the end zone interception, and the Badgers, with 40 seconds left in the half, decide to try to score. Sorgi hooks up with Lee Evans, a 13-yard connection, and then it's Sorgi again going up top one more time to Lee Evans for 33 yards inside the Indiana 35-yard line. Then on 2nd and 2 from the 26th, the Hoosiers, the Badgers, out of timeouts, go for 6 points. Sorgi to Evans, and despite 3 first-half turnovers, the Badgers go into the locker room leading Indiana 7-6.
That was the thing, Barry. I think maybe some frustration or an opportunity to get frustrated because Indiana wasn't really stopping you. It was the turnovers, right. And yet you're up 1 after it all. It had to be a pretty decent feeling, all things considered.
Well, I felt pretty good about it because we had momentum going in and the lead. And it had to take the wind out of their sails a little bit because they moved the ball and had to feel as though they had control of the first half with the turnovers we gave them. Yet they go in behind by a point, and we're going to get the ball opening second half. So, just had to get the point across to our kids. We're blocking them well. We're doing what we want to do on offense. We turn it over, give it to them 3 times in their territory as we're moving. So, and defensively, you're always going to have some trouble with him. But for the most part, you give them 6 points and a half, you have to be fairly satisfied.
Yeah, this is a team that scores more than 30 points a game now, talking about Indiana. We'll step out a bit later in the show. We'll hear from some more of the seniors as they near the end of their college careers. But up next, we'll look at the second half of Saturday's game in Indiana as the Barry Alvarez Show continues. With the Badgers leading Indiana by 1 point at the half, let's move on to the second half of Saturday's game.
Having ended the first half with an 80-yard drive, the Badgers begin the second half with an 80-yard drive. And Jim Sorgi, you know him for his arm. Well, here he is with his running ability, and he had all kinds of room to run. Takes advantage going 47 yards to the Indiana 18-yard line. A few plays later, Sorgi is able to buy himself some time. getting away from the rushing linebacker Devin Schaefer, and he finds John Sigmund in the end zone, a 6-yard connection. The Badgers lead 14-6. And the Wisconsin defense forces another turnover, putting pressure on quarterback Antoine Randall L. He's able to unload the pass, but Nick Bryson is there for the interception, and the Badgers have the ball at their own 40-yard line. But they can do nothing with it. They're forced to punt, and finally Randall L. is able to bust a big one. This is a 58-yard touchdown dash. It pulls the Hoosiers to within 2 at 14-12. They go for the 2-point conversion, but do not get it. And a money drive for the Badgers. Sorgi going up top again for Chris Chambers. This is a 46-yard hookup to the 8-yard line of Indiana. 2 plays later, Sorgi finds another one of his tight ends, Dag Retzlaff, this time a 5-yard connection, and the Badgers have a 9-point lead, 21-12. Indiana gets a field goal to cut the deficit to 6, and then Wisconsin's able to respond again. Michael Bennett for 11 yards and a first down. A couple of plays later, it's Sorgi to tight end John Sigmund with the nice catch and run for 14 yards to the IU 16. Then on 1st and goal from the Indiana 2, it's Matthew Nerdle running behind Chad Coons and Casey Robach. Wisconsin has a 14-point lead, 29-15. Indiana's trying to pull out some magic as the game is getting late. Randall L. on the roll, maybe a bit beyond the line of scrimmage. Doesn't matter, though. Jamar Fletcher with the interception at the 10-yard line. And I think we have seen this movie before. Fletcher with an interception and a long return, getting some effective blocks along the way. He slaloms through the Indiana offense and comes within 3 yards of a 90-yard touchdown return. As it is, it's an 87-yard return. He lets Michael Bennett finish the deal with his 3-yard touchdown, and it's 36-15 Wisconsin. A series of penalties gives Indiana a rather easy scoring drive late in the game. This makes it 36-22. Then the Hoosiers try an onside kick. It's scooped up by Lee Evans, and it turns into a 34-yard touchdown return for Evans, and that closes out the scoring. The Badgers are bowl eligible again as they beat Indiana 43-22.
It's hard to believe it was 7-6 at the half. Ends up 43-22. When Lee Evans tipped the ball, did you hold your breath for a second? I mean, it's live. It didn't go 10 yards, but it's live. But he obviously knew what he was doing, I guess.
They overran it. I was impressed with his awareness because many times in that situation, things happen so fast. Players just want to get the ball. But he was aware that there was no one around him. The ball bounces back to him. There's no one in front of him. There's a number of ways that you can do that. Normally, you should run someone back there as a safety, but his awareness was good, and we ended up getting a touchdown out of it.
You had tag team tailbacks again, and Michael didn't perform as well as he has. And Matthew Nerdle, you know what you're going to get out of him, right? Is that what it boiled down to? I mean, he's just going to take it straight ahead and get whatever's there. Yeah,
I thought Michael was just a little rusty. There were some reads. We're running some inside plays. We're just trying to move the football, and he missed the reads. And I just think he had to get a little rhythm. And I knew what we would get out, exactly what we'd get out of Matt. I thought our offensive line was blocking extremely well, and we wanted to be able to move the football on the ground and not depend on a home run all the time. So I felt real confident going to Matt.
All right, the Badgers finished Big Ten play with a 4-4 mark, now 7-4 overall. We'll step out again in a few minutes. We will bring in defensive coordinator Kevin Cosgrove. But when we come back, we'll hear from a few more of the Badgers seniors as the Barry Alvarez Show continues. Thanks to Saturday's win at Indiana, the 24 Badgers seniors will have 2 games left in their careers. Recently, we sat down with a couple of those seniors and asked them about the Wisconsin experience.
It's been a wild, crazy ride, but it went so fast. I made so many friends, and it's just a great experience.
And one of the things I wanted to, play a little basketball too, and that was one of the, the main reasons, I came here. But once I, got rid of that and started focusing on football, it just, really opened up my eyes and see if I can play here in a Big Ten university like this. My first game ever playing out there at the Meadowlands and making my first catch, getting blasted, I'll never forget that.
Coming here, walking on, I think just for the coaches to give me an opportunity to play, give me a chance to get in and help out the team, that's like the greatest thing, the overall thing why, I came here to Wisconsin.
It's shaped my life. I made friendships here that I'll never forget. I'm gonna have a great education. It's all kinds of things. The list goes on and on. I'm just thankful for all those opportunities.
We didn't have like the greatest season we probably wanted to, and we were kind of, frustrated, and that makes this probably season you remember more than maybe some of the other ones, because you got to try to make it through those rough the rough times, and that is a big thing of like what is out there in life. And so you learn how to deal with it.
You know, coming out of that tunnel, that's something that I'll never forget. All the fans yelling. At every other school I've ever been to, there's no situation where the players get actually walk through the fans before the game. I mean, that's something special. Camp Randall, and I mean, it was a great experience.
You know, beat Iowa for 4 years. You know, it's a lot of things that I can look back on. You know, and right now it's probably nothing to nobody. But you know, 10, 15 years down the line, it's going to be something.
It's cool, you know what I mean? It's just cool to have everybody support you, you know what I mean, like that. Maybe knowing that you're the Wisconsin kid, it's wild.
I got 2 Rose Bowl rings at home. I got I've got all kinds of friendships I've made as well as with coaches. I want to coach one day. Those are networking avenues that, I mean, that nobody else could get without having this experience. I mean, I wouldn't take any of it back. I mean, I've just been blessed to become this far and be this successful.
You see some coaching material in Eddie Faulkner? Sounds like it's what he wants to do.
I do, and Eddie talked to me actually a couple years ago about that's what he wanted to do, and I think even maybe in recruiting. And, you know, we'll try to work him in as a graduate assistant or work him in somehow because he is a good leader. The players respond to him. He always knows his role, and he always contributes in any way he can.
All right, it's a class, again, that has done a whole lot of things and a chance to close out with yet another bowl game in their college careers. We'll take another break. He had to replace 2 very good starting linebackers, and as the season moved along, Kevin Cosgrove has seen some improvement in that area. After this break, we'll talk to the Badgers defensive coordinator as the Barry Alvarez Show continues. Back-to-back Big Ten championship seasons, linebackers Chris Cadorzy and Donnell Thompson played major roles in Wisconsin's strong defense. When they moved on, Kevin Cosgrove knew replacing those 2 would be anything but easy. With the improved play of Nick Bryson, Jeff Mack, and Bryson Thompson, it appears as though the linebacking core will be in very good shape. Kevin joins us now along with one of his linebackers, Nick Bryson. Kevin, when you are preparing your team to face a guy like Antoine Randall, what are the 2 or 3 things or whatever that you have to stress to your defense above all else when you face a guy like that?
Well, the number one thing is responsibility, because when you play an option team, you have to have the dive covered, you have to have the quarterback covered, you have to have the pitch covered, and then you have to have an extra player. So along with responsibilities, you have to be very sound fundamentally. Keeping your kids' shoulders square, making sure they're playing off cuts because they're always going to try to cut at the second level, and it's very important to keep that extra guy on the ball.
Talk about it, Nick, from your perspective. You're following this guy all day, and really, you know, the numbers he had were pretty good, but at the end of the day, you feel like you did a pretty good job against him, didn't you? How tough was that dealing with a guy like him?
Well, having Randall out, he's like a basketball player out there, and he just puts so many shakes on you that you just don't know where he's going to go, and he's got a lot of speed, and he can also throw the ball, which makes it tough. But I think, you know, we did a pretty good job against him. You know, we had one big run against us, but, you know, we came out with a victory, and that's what we wanted.
Another interception for you. I know you were saying earlier in the week if you could just keep standing up. But yesterday, that was excusable. That was a diving, athletic interception for you yesterday. You had to be pretty pleased with that.
Yeah, I was pretty excited about it. I mean, we do have some athletic linebackers, you know, that can actually make some plays. So we got some hands back there this year, and I'm just real excited about it.
You know, Kai's a big secret that Nick revealed earlier in the week, his improved play. He let his hair grow. Apparently, some sound advice from you guys and John Palermo as well. That's been a big factor, right, as you look back?
Nick's a good-looking guy, and, you know, he's shaving his head. He looked like Curly.
But not playing like Curly now. Nick, along with Jeff and Bryson, you've seen some improved play with your linebackers this
Every
year,
week I'm seeing improvement, and you know, that's the way it's supposed to be. You know, it's the end of the season, getting close to the end of the season now, and you expect them to improve every week, and we're definitely seeing that.
Nick, you guys have gone through a lot. It seems like every week we bring a player on the set and we talk about it, but tell us in your words what it means now, knowing that you are going to be going to another bowl game.
It's just a great feeling. It takes a lot of weight off our shoulders. Now it's going out to Hawaii. We can kind of enjoy it a little more. Like Coach Alvarez says, it's just like another bowl trip for us. And now we got this victory, we can just concentrate on Hawaii, and we know that we're going to go to a bowl, and every time we keep winning, the bowl berth gets a little bit better for us.
You know, a phrase we hear players use a lot is the game slows down. And it's not as though you're a rookie this year, but you're playing a lot week in and week out. Is that fair to say that that's happened with you from the beginning of the season to now, where the game is slowing down and you're feeling more comfortable with your responsibilities on the field?
It's definitely like that right now. You in the beginning of the year, Western Michigan, I just saw guys running everywhere, every which way across my face, and now I actually know where the guys are coming from, and I see the plays a lot better, and it makes it a lot easier on me and also our other linebackers.
And you look like you're having fun. You personally and the defense as a whole, is that fair to say you're enjoying football again out there, making some plays and getting turnovers and all of that?
Getting turnovers is definitely a good time because you get off the field and you get the offensive ball and you put some more points on the board.
All right, congratulations to all of you, by the way. Interception number 3 this season for Nick Greisen. One of these days he'll have interception return yardage, and we look forward to that. We will take a break. At least for a few days, the Badgers will be enjoying a little R&R. We'll talk about that a bit more as the Barry Alvarez Show continues. Head to Honolulu for their final regular season game. They made the trip back in 1996. Now they go again to face the Hawaii Warriors. Kickoff set for 10 o'clock Central Time on Saturday night, November 25th. Well, welcome to your bye week after 11 weeks. Players, you're going to give them a few days off, chance to recharge a little bit?
We'll give them until Thursday off. Now, they will lift with John Detman on Monday and Wednesday, but this gives them a chance to get away a little bit and recharge their batteries. Some of our coaches are going to get on the road and get caught up on recruiting, and then we'll pick it back up on Thursday and get our game plan in before we get there and treat it. And we'll treat it like a bowl game.
All right. Now, the only thing we know in terms of the Big Ten bowl structure is if Purdue wins this week, it will go to the Rose Bowl. But you are still in the mix for any number of bowls. Could you know within the next week or two at the most where you could end up?
I think we will probably know a week from today. Everybody will play. A lot will depend on if the BCS, if Purdue does win, then whether Ohio State wins and has a chance to go to the BCS, and then they have the pecking order.
Right.
And after the Rose Bowl, the Rose Bowl is the only bowl that we're out of right now. The rest of the bowls that are listed for the Big Ten, there is a potential that they could take us. So we won't know, but I have a feeling we'll know a week from today.
All right, good luck. Enjoy the days off. Enjoy the trip to Hawaii. We'll see you down there. That does it for this week's show. There will be no show after the Hawaii game, but we do have plans for a final program reviewing the season and looking ahead to the Badgers bowl game. Check your local listings for when the show will run in your area. Until then, thanks for watching.
The Barry Alvarez Show is sponsored by Robert W. Baird & Company, Charter Communications, Cops Corporation of Stevens Point, Fiduciary Management Incorporated, Fun Jet Vacations, General Casualty Insurance Company, The Gordon Flesh Company, Kennedy Hahn TV and Appliance, M&I Banks, MCP Corporation, Mendota Gridiron Club, Miller Lite and Miller Genuine Draft Beer, Top Promotions, Wisconsin Electric and Wisconsin Gas, Wisconsin Energy Companies, and the Wisconsin Cable Communications Association.
We're an insurance agent.